Welcome, NBA Playoff Nation. I'm your host, Leo Bias, and I got my co-host here, Rob Pensanari from Pensanari Basketball's YouTube channel. Today, the Raptors woke up from the dead. They came back from the dead. They won 110 to 102. We the North. They feeling good. One, because they won. Two, because Scottie Barnes, rightfully so, justifiably got named Rookie of the Year. My number 2 guy on my big board, man. I am ecstatic. I am so happy for Scottie Barnes. He deserved it, and it's a big plus for his confidence. I can't wait to see what he becomes. Rob, how you feeling?
I feel great. Did you happen to see the clip of how he found out?
I didn't.
It was beautiful. So Friday in practice, which is yesterday in practice, the Raptors rolled out this television, and suddenly it's Vince Carter, and Vince Carter's talking, and he's like, "Hey, Scottie Barnes," and then the entire team just stops. Like, what's going on here? Why is Vince Carter coming up to give us a pep talk when we're down 0-3?
Yeah.
And he's like, there have been 3 players in NBA history to win Rookie of the Year as a Toronto Raptor: Damon Stoudemire, me, and a
And
6'7",
you.
and a 6'7", and it was just so crazy. And I think that it really boosted the spirits of the entire team. I think you could see it, that this team came out and played loose. They played looser than the Sixers. They looked tougher.
They had
looked
nothing to lose,
happier.
though. You know what I mean? Like, they had nothing to lose. Pride's on the line. You got to step up for We the North. That's simple.
I mean, I've seen teams come out and lay an egg when they're down 0-3 because the hope is gone, right? And to be honest, it's not like the Sixers played badly. I mean, they had to work for this. It's not like the Sixers came out and they didn't want this game.
Right.
The Sixers wanted this game, and it was very clear from Joel Embiid's frustration and Doc Rivers' body language that they absolutely wanted this game. It just seems like the Raptors have finally found the joy that they were playing with throughout the regular season. And I think that, maybe a lot of people are going to say I'm hating here, but the fact that you don't have this 5'11" guy on the court
There you go.
gimping around, it really did shore up the defense. There was I think a 5-minute stretch where the Sixers didn't get a single point, and you're just like, okay, so all the issues we had about, we don't have a center, we don't have this, well, this is why, this was the idea, this was how it was supposed to work. Everyone's 6'8", everyone's long, right? The only guy right now who's even remotely undersized is Gary Trent Jr., who's 6'5". So, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, everyone across the board, and it's suddenly like Maxi's not killing you anymore. Harden's not killing you anymore. Embiid, like, those doubles are coming a little bit faster. I think a lot of people are going to point to Siakam's 34 points, and kudos to him for that. But the defense today, this is what Raptors basketball is about. It was about the defense today. Yeah, it was great.
Siakam, 34 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 10 of 19, 1 of 4 from beyond the arc. My man had a hell of a game. He deserved all the criticism that came his way for Game 3. Make no mistake about it. We're not going to ask for forgiveness. I mean, he deserved it. He played like absolute garbage. And this is what, I hate to say the word max player, right? Because, that's what he's getting paid. Not that he's a max player, but his contract's a max player contract. And this is the type of bounce back performances that these types of guys have to have. And as you said, it looked kind of forced a little bit, but we're not complaining, man. Like, he stepped up. He had a hell of a game, as you said, on both ends of the floor, and that's all you can really ask for, man. And super efficient. It looked like he was playing with joy out there. I didn't really appreciate Joel Embiid going at him after the timeout. Cameroon on Cameroon crime right there. But hey, I'm sure they'll talk about it, squash some of that beef. Hopefully not. That way he plays with a chip on his shoulder, and they come back for Game 6, because that's what we really hope for in Game 3. You and me talked about, let's hope that they can get at least to a Game 6. And right now, as you said, if there's a coach you would bet against that, and you're happy, to like make a comeback and come back from the dead, Doc Rivers is that dude.
Oh my God, the memes that are going around Twitter of this guy's face
Well, let's
and
check.
saying,
Let's check them
not
out.
three, not 3-1 again. It's like you got him exactly where you want this guy. Look, that weighs on the psychology of a coach and also on a team. You got to believe he's aware of it, right? You got to believe it. And that feeling of like, oh no, not again. And you start coaching, and then if you don't come out like gangbusters in game 5, and your team starts looking at you sideways, like, is this the guy who's about to just choke another? Are we going to be thrown under the bus the way he threw Ben Simmons under the bus? Like, I'm telling you, man, like injuries and random chemistry issues can come up from time to time in games like in series. Um,
Bro, this
yeah,
this is crazy. Doc Rivers said we're not gonna sit here and complain like they do. They literally got the two biggest crybabies in the NBA, along with Luca, who was my guy. But Joel Embiid, James Harden, and Luca are literally top three crybabies. And this guy is talking about the Raptors were crying. My goodness.
yeah. Well, I mean, look, the you'll see it in their body language and in how they're acting right now that they are legitimately like at least 1% scared that they're about to lose this, right? Because again, it's not like they came out and mailed it in. They absolutely tried. And it's not like they got a very favorable a whistle. I would just say for once, like the Raptors weren't on the receiving end of terrible calls all night. But, we're going to go back to Philadelphia. We're going to see what's up. Um, but yeah, I take it as a very good sign that Joel Embiid is feeling the need to push OG Anunoby and push Pascal Siakam because obviously he's frustrated. He's frustrated that he wanted a sweep. He's not going to get a sweep, and I think Alvin Williams brought up something very interesting during the during the game where he said, when you got to close a team out, suddenly you start thinking next game and you miss this game, right? So now like for instance, you're thinking sweep, right? But that's not this game. That's after this game. You were thinking sweep. Now you go back to Philadelphia. Now you're thinking, I don't want to go back to Toronto. So you're thinking next game. Whereas the Raptors don't have the luxury of thinking next game. They have to think each game. So sometimes, and again, let me put it this way mathematically, for all you math nerds out there, the odds of winning 4 straight, it doesn't matter when you win 4 straight, right? It really doesn't. Right now, Golden State is about to beat the Denver Nuggets 4 straight, right? So
Hmm.
when you're down 0-3, really the only logic of this is the difficulty of it is you have to go and win 4 straight, which is very difficult. Now, the reason it's never been done, or like 0 and 143, is because most of the time the team that's down 0-3 is way worse than the team that's up 3-0, right? So
Hmm.
like right now, you look at a team and it's just like, well, you gotta think about it and you're like, well, why has this thing never happened? Well, okay, well,
They should
consider
be 2-2, bro. They should be 2-2. Like the Nuggets and the Warriors, that's rightfully so 3-0. This series should be at least 2-2. And Nick Nurse said today, it's not 3-0 anymore. Let's go have some fun in Philly and see what we can do.
right.
On the whole, nobody comes back from 3-0. So now they're down 3-1. Now that's a thing.
Well, see, that's exactly it, right? But for like the first 2 games of this series, we didn't have Gary Trent Jr. Basically, he was shooting us like yeah, I don't know if people realize this. Prior to this game, half the Raptors roster had negative win shares. That's hard to do. That's how bad Thaddeus Young with his thumb, and Fred VanVleet, well, with Fred VanVleet's knees, and Gary Trent Jr. with the illness. Like these guys have been really, really bad. Pascal Siakam has been pretty bad. Pascal Siakam, up until this game, was actually averaging negative win shares. That's hard to do as a max player, right? So what I'm saying is you have a situation where a team got up 3-1,
Mm.
3-0, and the other team had just basically had everything horrible that they could ever imagine happen to them. Their star disappeared. One of their starters busted his ankle in the first game. One of their starters, who's very essential for the spacing, and Gary Trent Jr., basically was, he was just shooting like into the ocean. Like he had no idea what he was doing. He said he was running a fever. He was just going through it. And then Thaddeus Young was, his net rating was negative 55 in the first 3 games. So, I mean, like all of these guys coming back, I mean, if you're like me and you take Fred as maybe a negative in this series, you take him out as well. I'm sorry, but if there was ever a team that was going to rally off 3 straight, I think it would be the Raptors. Again, The math says if two teams are evenly matched, it's just joint probability. 50-50, three times, what is that? 12.5%. So
Hmm.
really, if two teams are evenly matched, it's 6.25% are your odds of coming back. But those are the same odds of sweeping a team that you're evenly matched with, right? It's just four straight. That's the logic of it is just four straight. So right now, the Raptors' odds of winning 3 games in a row are 12.5%. If they get through one more game, if they win in Philly, it'll be 25%. Get to a
Hmm.
game 7, it's 50-50, right? And then you don't know what's happening with Joel Embiid's thumb at that point. You don't
Talking
know
about
what's
injuries, Fred VanVleet will get further imaging done on his hip later. Update tonight or tomorrow. So it's the hip now. And that's the thing that people don't understand. Sometimes, say, for example, you're dealing with ankle injuries or you're dealing with knee injuries. There is another part of the body that is compensating for all the stress you put on that certain ligament, on that certain part of your body. And right now, it's not good if you're a Van Vliet fan, and it's not good if you're Van Vliet himself, because the hip is the one that's suffering for it, man. And he looked really upset when he ripped his jersey off.
Yeah, that sucked, and that was heartbreaking to see him
Yeah,
that frustrated with that.
no doubt.
Um, but if this is a hip flexor or a strain, like he's done for this series, that's over. Like hip injuries are not a joke. I think more severe hip injuries can take upwards of 6 weeks to feel right, and even then, you're not like totally right. And hips are such an important part of basketball for lateral movement on defense. I mean, he's already been a pylon on defense trying to guard, Tyrese Maxey on a hurt knee. You don't want to add like you do not want to add a hip issue to that as well, even if you can get through it with painkillers and shots and whatever.
Oh, here it is, bro. Here's that video you're talking about.
Come on over here. We
Yep.
got a big flip too.
Let's
Come
watch it
on.
real fast. Oh my
Come on over here.
goodness.
Yo, Scottie! Scottie Barnes, what's up, man? This is Vince Carter here.
Oh
Hey, I know
shit.
you're busy and locked in for the game. I get it. But I just want to say I've truly enjoyed watching you play this year. It takes me back to when I was a rookie and I was able to win the 1998 Rookie of the Year award trophy.
Oh.
Great memories, man. Great memories. I want to give you some quick Raptors history if I could, since we're on the subject. Did you know it's only been 3 Raptors players in franchise history to win this award? David Stoudemire, me, and a 6'7" rookie from West Palm Beach, Florida, my fellow Florida boy, Scottie Barnes. Yeah, man, congratulations, man. I'm looking forward to seeing you continue to.
Man, I'm
achieve
tearing up
success in
too,
the
shit.
NBA. You up next, bro. You up next.
Wow. That's my guy, bro. I called it, man. Number 2 on my big board. Fucking knew it, too. What a moment, man. Wow, that is heartwarming. Look at Fred. Look at Fred. They respect Fred, man. That's sick, bro. That is sick. Oh my goodness, what a moment. Raptor fans, man. Yeah, man, y'all got yourself a real one, man. For real.
No, he's awesome. And you can just tell, like, his confidence when he came on the court. I mean, he wasn't comfortable taking shots. He still took a couple of threes. He took that shot. I mean, he bricked badly. I think he went, like, yeah, he got to the line a few times. But he made an impact, right? With his, like, there's a lot of plays where he initiated the pass to the passer. He got on the boards. He pushed the pace. He made the pass that was making the pass in transition that makes it even possible. He just changed the game coming off the bench. It's actually like thinking about it. I'm like, man, the Raptors might have been better all year if Scottie was coming off the bench. I got to be honest. Like he could have run that second unit. I'm happy that he started for the ego, the pride, whatever. He doesn't have an ego or pride. He is such an incredible guy off the bench. That's a luxury. It sucks that Van Vliet's out now because he's going to have to start now. But if they could have kept that up for the playoffs, like what a nightmare sixth man, a guy who can just come in and absolutely just change the pace of the whole game, run your offense, get on the glass, block shots. Like, yeah, I obviously like I was holding my breath when he went down in the first half. when he was when he fell.
Hmm.
Um, Honestly, I'm really glad he didn't come back in the fourth. Like the Raptors had it. Precious Achua, doing a great job. OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, like I think they had it and it was great. And yeah, like keep him at 25 minutes. Hopefully, give him like 2 more days to rest up. By the way, this is an afternoon game. I believe Monday is an evening game. So it's a little bit more than 48 hours left until that next one. Hopefully, you can get some ice, some treatment, and feel a little bit more confident and better. I think that's a really big part of coming back from a scary injury like that is the confidence. You know, you just start thinking about it too much, thinking about it too much. You adjust your pressure too much to the other foot, and the next thing you know, you create an injury in some other part of your body. So it's like an overcompensation injury. So
Right.
I guess I'm just really happy that yeah, that
Hey, look at
he's
this.
safe.
Doc Rivers when he realizes he's up 3-1.
Bro.
Here they come, bro. They're flying in, bro. Uh-oh, here we go. What did Chuck say? And another Charles Barkley. I guarantee. Uh, hey, I hope he says I guarantee the Sixers win some Game 5 too, because we know what that means,
Oh my
bro. This is
God.
hilarious. I
I mean,
mean,
look,
he's
if you're
so
the
funny.
Raptors,
Like if people take his thing serious, shame on them. Like he's there for entertainment purposes. Chuck is a chuckster, as they like to say. Like he doesn't watch the game. He doesn't know players' names. Like for anyone that takes it seriously and not for entertainment purposes, that's just on you. Like you're just dumb. And I've seen a ton of Raptor fans on our Facebook groups talking about American media uses like stop the cap. Like everyone who knows basketball knows, and obviously it's proof that Scottie Barnes won Rookie of the Year. Like come on, man. Like there's no bias against Americans hate Canadians or like they don't respect. Every
yeah.
fan base says that. Like it's it's
No,
it's it's
I
nothing
think
new.
I think it's so stupid because it's like when you really look
Yeah.
down the list of media members who voted for Scotty. I mean, you've got some notorious like guys who would make that list for Raptor conspiracy fans. Stephen A. Smith, Bill Simmons, like a lot of these guys, they voted Scotty on their ballot.
Yeah.
There's a ton of people in America, including people from LA. And I mean, like, okay, LA, that's Evan Mobley's market. He's from LA. He went to USC. I mean, you would assume that those people might have a bias towards him. They didn't. You know what I mean? Obviously, all the Canadian media guys voted for Scotty. I mean, if you're a Cleveland fan right now, you're probably sitting there saying, "What
They hate
about us?"
Cleveland. No, they're probably saying,
They
"Oh, they hate Cleveland." Or
they hate.
Pistons fans, it's like everybody versus Detroit. And I'm like, dude, I literally got in a huge argument. I don't know if you saw like the comments in our video about Cade against Jalen, the rookie thing we did, and it was like all these Piston fans super upset about you giving them a C and like me giving them a B plus. And I'm like, bro, it's not Detroit versus everybody. Every fan base says that. Like it's super cliched. No one's against Cade. I love Cade personally. I love Evan. But there is clearly one rookie this year from beginning from beginning to end that was the most consistent, man. And that was Scottie Barnes. And there's a great point here by Blockhawk2K saying Nick Nurse to learn to bench people when they're not 100% healthy wise. Playing, Gary Trent game one was a bad move on Nick Nurse. Van Vliet should have not been on. He should have been on restrictive minutes, if not on the DNP list. And I agree.
You know what? It's just I think with Nurse you have a safety issue where he just feels like if he puts in a guy who's not right for his system, especially defensively, that's the big part. See, Nurse's whole thing is defense. He doesn't give a shit about the offense. You can go out and shoot 0 for 12. He's not going to bench you for that. He's going to bench you for missing a rotation. But because of the way that like this defense works, one guy can screw the entire thing up. Like there's no Rudy Gobert here to clean up the mess or whatever. Everything's got to work on a string. If one guy misses a rotation, you have what happened in Game 3 when Gary Trent Jr. missed that rotation when he missed the switch. Joel Embiid got a wide open shot. So this defense only works if everyone's connected. And having a guy like Malachi Flynn out there, or it's just a trust thing with Nurse. So he's learning right now to trust Chris Boucher. I think that's great. Boucher has been amazing, by the way. I remember.
He's been better. He's been
No,
better.
no, 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 no.
He's been
He's been
better.
amazing. Like when you look at the advanced stats, when you look at the eye test, when you look at this
I look
guy,
at the eye test. Like, this guy is reckless as hell. Like, that's a guy that I don't trust to be out there with .9. He'll F around and foul. Like, that's him. He's
I
that
think
guy.
look at $6 million a year, you're not holding this guy to the same standard as you're holding Joel Embiid or Tobias Harris, right? But I'm saying that
Oh,
for a role
sure.
player, the
Sure,
good
yeah.
the good far outweighs
Yeah.
the bad. He provides spacing, he provides hustle, he provides energy, he got on the glass, he's providing weak side shot blocking, he gets into the passing lanes. This guy is literally a nightmare out there for the Sixers, and I'm telling you that throughout the first 4 games, he has been the most consistent Raptor because he's the only Raptor who hasn't had a bad game yet. OG Anunoby had a bad game tonight. I would say that. I was joking around about how he's going to be the Raptors' best player in every single game. Well, he was the Raptors' best player in game 2 and 3.
I would
But
say Boucher
Boucher
had
has
a terrible game 1. Like, he was god awful that game. He had like 5 fouls like in 2 minutes.
he fouled, but he wasn't terrible. He's still, like, look, I'm telling you, like this defense does not have a lot of shot blocking, right? He's the only guy on your team who provides that skill set. He's the only one, right? I mean, Precious and Pascal and OG. I mean, OG's done a little bit more, Scottie, whatever. But this is the only guy that like you can legitimately say can cover a lot of space and shot as a shot blocker. He cleans up messes, and I'm telling you, like, I mean, just he's moving. He's moving all the time. I'm not saying that he's their best player. I'm not saying he's their second best player or third best player, but I'm saying in terms of offensive and defensive impact metrics, everything would tell you he's been one of their 3 best
You
players.
see what Embiid is doing? He's like giving a clap to the referees or to the audience? God, I hope they see him again. I hope they see him for Game 6, man.
Dude, you know when he got fouled and he fell to the ground, he told the audience, he told everyone to suck it. He literally went like this. He went like this on his crotch. I mean, he's lucky he didn't pick up 3 technicals in this game. That push on OG should have been a tech. The push on Pascal was a tech, and him saying "suck it" to the fans was a tech. So he got 3 technicals this game. They only called 1. Talk about star treatment, man. This is star
James
treatment.
Harden today had 22 points, 29% from the field, 2 of 8 from 3, 4 turnovers, a -14. Would you say it was more of him having a bad game, or was it the Raptors really contributing to him having a bad game?
Look, the Raptors have 4 guys who can, I mean, I want to say 3 guys who can really, really make life hell for him. And that's Pascal, Scottie, and OG. He has a field day every time he sees Fred VanVleet. This game, he didn't have Fred VanVleet to pick on the entire game, so obviously he's going to have a bad game, right? He can't get past Fred VanVleet. That was the big thing, and I think if you really, really, really start to hone in on the game footage, you're going to see that Scottie Barnes did something incredible on James Harden. Like the way that he bothered him, the way that he got up into his space, the way he was like guarding him, he was in his stance. I'm like, oh my God. Like this guy deserves another standing ovation for just how much heart and hustle he put in on the defensive end. I mean, he did all the little things. I mean, today, I will call Scottie today, this was his Draymond game. Because he did everything for the Raptors. He hustled on the glass. He made those passes. He pushed the ball in transition. He guarded up on James Harden. He's pushing. He's boxing out Joel Embiid. Is this a surprise that Joel Embiid only had 8 rebounds tonight? I mean, he's been averaging double digits the entire series. Is it a surprise that the Raptors finally won the rebounding battle? I think not. And he did this basically on 1 foot, right? I mean, that second ankle, it keeps limping on and off the entire time. So, you know what? Kudos to a 20-year-old for showing heart and getting out there. Incredible. Just incredible.
Well, give me a final prediction for Game 5, brother.
Raptors are going to win, man. I'm already on board with the prophecy. I've been on board since last game. I said the Raptors are going to come back and be the first team to win a game 7 after being down 0-3. I think it's possible. I'm thinking it's more possible after today. And if Scottie Barnes can get some rest and he can become a weapon to exploit the Sixers, they're not going to be able to gang up on Pascal the way that they did today, because he's gonna kill him. Today he couldn't get past anybody, right? But if that ankle starts to feel better, look out, Philadelphia.
Monday, 5 p.m. Pacific, NBA TV. It's going to be a hell of a game. You know Joel Embiid and them boys will be ready to give the Raptors a punch in the mouth early on. But it's about how the Raptors will respond and sustain. Like, can they keep themselves in the game enough to where they can steal the game at the end? I think coaching is going to come huge into this game. Like, Nick Nurse has to have the best game plan he's ever had in his life if the Raptors have a chance. So we'll see what happens.
I think the Sixers are going to make some adjustments on Siakam. I don't think I think they're going to look at the tape and see how he got going. And obviously, he's not a player that, you know, once you make a few adjustments on him, he is going to be limited.
Yep,
he's not.
Agreed.
You know, I mean, we're seeing Kevin Durant get you know,
for the first time ever, though. Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, but if you watch the Thinking Basketball video on how they're doing it, it's actually like it's not that. It's easy for me to say it's not that difficult. Nobody has the Boston Celtics defenders.
Right.
Nobody
Yeah,
has a defender
nobody has defenders.
But with the personnel that the Celtics have, it's really not that difficult. I think the argument for the Sixers is, you know, they just don't have that type of defensive personnel to really shut down. They can shut down Siakam, but I don't think if they all get going at the same time, Siakam, Trent, OG, and Scottie, that they can shut them all down.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's just, you got to just find the hot hand. And with Fred out, hopefully, potentially, I think they'll be willing to move the ball to the hot hand and find the mismatch. And if they can just hunt those mismatches, I see no reason why the Raptors can't come back.
I thought Siakam did a great job of that today, attacking the paint, kicking out to guys like OG, etc. So we'll see if that continues on Monday. Again, guys, 5 p.m. Make sure you keep it here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Keep sharing this video, man. Subscribe to Rob's channel, Pensionary Basketball. We'll be back on Monday, y'all. Thank you guys for all the love and support. We the North, we love you guys. We'll see you very, very soon. Peace.